Welcome, everybody, to another Horror Corner. Hi, everybody. My name is JPOOL, and welcome to a new episode where I am joined once again by my co host, LC.
Hey, hey, hey. How's it going?
Fine, fine. You look fantastic today with an awesome
Yeah.
background.
And not as awesome as her, I mean, frankly, but who could be? Who could dream of being that badass? Certainly
Exactly.
not me.
Especially when you're spoiling the end of the movie.
I know. I thought about that. I'm like, yeah, let's just go right for the full spoiler. But I mean, if I would have seen this T minus 1 week ago, I still wouldn't have known anything because this was my first watch of Resident Evil.
Yeah, you said your first full watch. Like, in a way of like,
Mm-hmm.
how full a watch? Did you just watch snippets or things online?
Yeah, honestly, for living in an apartment at the time when this came out and when it came out on DVD, I guess
Hmm.
it felt like it was always on because there was a lot of gaming going on in my household at that time, and anytime uh movie that was inspired by a game would come out, it would be regularly playing. So I definitely remember popping in. I definitely remember how hot Mila looked. But other than that, I never really sat down and watched it.
Yeah, and this movie is directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who will later actually marry Mila Jovovich.
Fun fact.
Yes, fun fact. And then Mila Jovovich would later have a clone of a daughter.
What?
Her daughter looks exactly
Okay.
like her. It's really
Oh,
freaky. It's
okay.
really
I
freaky.
thought you meant for real.
Well, I mean, in this series, she has clones, and she has
Hmm.
multiple clones. She has dozens and dozens
Fantastic.
and dozens of clones. But in real life, her daughter is like a clone of her.
So figuratively and literally,
Exactly.
and her daughter won the gene pool lottery, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Kind of like Monica Bellucci's daughter. I love one of Gene Pool. So this movie starts off really interestingly because it has a sort of a really interesting horror trope in here. How they started off with. Um, they start off with a place that is very contained, very claustrophobic,
Hmm.
and things are happening and you have no idea what's going on. All you see is
Right.
somebody is taking this genetically bioengineered like virus called the T virus from this room, and then ends up just like tossing it and
Yeah.
breaking it to go into the air vents.
Did not handle with care.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason for it. And then all of a sudden, chaos ensues.
Right.
The place gets locked down. If you're very squeamish about elevator scenes, this movie may not be for you, especially the beginning of it. It's,
That was one of my favorite moments of this movie. I'll let you guess what my favorite one is, but I the beginning was such a wild ride, but I did also want to talk about the very, very, very beginning before everything happens, which I don't know. I'll ask you because you watched this when it came out. I don't know how powerful it was for you, but for me, watching it in the year 2026, the opening where it talks about the company that is responsible for this laboratory being this major, major company that is basically a technology company, a healthcare company. I don't remember what else it said, but it's in everybody's house. So everybody's familiar with it.
yep.
But what they don't know is all of the other things that it's involved with. And I don't know. And I'm trying to remember back to when this movie came out. I don't feel like we were quite there with the way that technology is in our lives today and the way that some of these massive companies who I will not name names, but some, I mean, you could read that opening and think about just a number of different organizations today that fit a very similar blueprint. So it really made it a little creepier too to begin with.
Yeah, and this was done in 2002. Uh,
Right.
we were just talking about artificial intelligence as sort of a sci-fi possibility for the future. There really
Mm-hmm.
wasn't anything, flowing publicly that we could, use in our daily lives. And here we have the Red Queen that was based on the daughter of
Mm-hmm.
the creator of the T virus and everything. Um, and later on in the later movies, they explain a little more. They actually have like more explanation on who the daughter was and everything. But in here, you're sort of left slightly in the dark about what's going on. The company,
Mm-hmm.
this is a very this company called the Umbrella was it? Yeah, Umbrella.
Umbrella Company.
Yeah, Umbrella Company. They basically do like skincare and everything else like that. But underneath all this, literally underneath the ground, underneath the city, Raccoon City, they're doing major experiments. Like they're doing genetic manipulation. They're doing stuff that should be considered very ethically,
Questionable.
yeah, very questionable, questionably
Yeah.
ethical. Uh,
Military weapons technology,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
yeah, they've got their hand in all the dirty stuff.
Yeah, I mean they even own the local police and everything, and um, the beginning of this film starts off with this whole group of people in this underground office basically getting completely wiped out.
Yeah.
The halon system comes on, suffocates people to death. There's elevators that are crashing. When I was younger watching this, I think this was before. I think Final Destination, was it a little after or before? I'm trying to remember.
I think it
Final.
was after. I wanted to say Final Destination started in the 90s. I'll look it up.
Oh, it was 2000. Never mind. It was 2000.
Oh,
So it was 2 years
close.
afterwards. But it had that trend of like I think what was it? Final Destination 2. I think it had an elevator scene in there. Um, yeah, elevators. If you're like freaked out about elevators, and I've been in some elevators that were questionable going up at some hotels, I'm like going, am I gonna die because this elevator is
And
shaking
regularly.
all the way up? And this is the Renaissance, okay? It's not some shoddy, unknown hotel brand. Fix
Mhm.
your shit. Sorry, but fix it.
Allegedly. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly.
No, I've told the people at the desk. I literally told them
Good.
your escalator sounds like it's about to swallow somebody up.
I am
And
not affiliated with any of okay, so I'll just say I feel like everybody knows not to stick their head outside of an elevator,
oh
though,
yeah,
right? I
no,
mean, if your elevator breaks down, do not pry open the doors and stick your head out the door.
oh yeah. I think there's a scene in the first movie in the Speed, the first one, where
Mhm.
the bomber is trying to drop the elevators, or at least one of the elevators, and there's this lady that like is doesn't want to go out. There's a very little space left. The thing keeps going down, and Keanu Reeves' character is trying to pull her out of the elevator, and she doesn't want to go, and finally convinces her to come and pulls her out. But like by the last minute, where she loses her shoe. For a second, I thought she
Oh,
might have lost her foot for a second, but then it
mhm.
finally plummets to the first floor and just pancakes.
Well, that was actually with this whole elevator situation that's going on at the beginning of this movie. The scariest part of it for me was the moment where you've got these people in the elevator, they can't get out, they're trying to figure out what's going on, but they're contained, so they're not seeing quite as much of the chaos going on. And you hear this like, "Uh, and they're like, what is that? And it's the sound of the people in the other elevator as they plummet. Yeah, that gave me a lot of feels there. That's a moment. I
Yeah.
haven't seen that done before.
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, cool and also frightening at the same time.
Right.
Personally, they should have all jumped before they hit the first floor, and then it'd be okay, right? That's how science works.
It is. It's true.
No, MythBusters completely
100%.
blew that myth up.
Hmm. There is one random story, and I won't obviously get into it because that's not what this pod is about. But look it up. There is a story of a woman surviving a crazy elevator collapse like that. Um, I don't think she jumped at the last minute. It was some random thing that happened. She was pretty beat up, but you're not gonna make it. Is the moral of the story?
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be bad.
oh yeah, definitely. All right, so let's skip ahead. Like right after all these things happen, we fade into like the next scene where we see Mila Jovovich's character Alice. She's waking up in the shower. I guess she fell. We don't know why. She's naked.
Scars. Yeah, that's
Um,
for all of you out there.
yes, that's for the fans.
Mhm, that's for the fans.
She seems to be completely confused on what's going on, what's happening around her. She doesn't know even why she's even there.
Hmm.
She has amnesia, and
Right.
she's wandering around this huge mansion. And
Nice.
out of nowhere, somebody like comes in there that she has no idea who this guy is, and then all of a sudden these guys start breaking through the windows. These commandos. Uh,
Gas
yeah,
masks,
gas
freaky,
masks. They're part of they're okay. So
soldier like.
they're part of the Umbrella Corporation, not company. They're Umbrella Corporation, and they're basically based like security. They are investigating what is happening with underground, offices. That's actually below this giant mansion. This is like the entranceway, like the secret entranceway to
Hmm.
the.
Talk about a speakeasy you can't get into. I mean, for real.
I mean, it's a badass entrance. So no one would expect it to be in this like really
Hmm.
fancy mansion.
And you would absolutely expect not to be allowed to get anywhere near a fancy mansion. So it's a pretty good cover. Makes
Yeah,
me wonder about all those fancy mansions out there.
exactly. Well, they call this place the Hive, and they're going into the secret entranceway, because all the other areas have been blocked off. To get, all the elevators have been destroyed, so they have to take the secret entranceway to the Hive, and Alice is, she doesn't even know who she is, and then we have this other guy in here, and he says he's a cop.
Hmm.
Basically, yeah. And we're trying to figure out like, is he really a cop? Everybody's trying to scan his like badge, and they're like, well, you're not in the system. He's like, I'm brand new. Um, it,
Matt,
yeah, he's gonna,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna pretty much reveal the stuff a little later on who he actually is too.
Hmm.
And so they finally get down, into like near the entrance of the Hive. They have to take a train. Power is
Hmm.
out,
Naturally.
and we're introduced to a new character in here. It's played by a young Michelle Rodriguez. Rewa-
Still badass.
Rewatching this, I'm like, wow, she's so young. This is like pre, Fast and Furious. It was cool seeing her.
Yeah.
And she's always loved doing action roles and everything. She, uh,
She can't play a soft girl, which I
no,
appreciate.
no, no.
Can you imagine Michelle Rodriguez in a rom com?
She's just gonna end up smashing somebody's face in. Yeah,
And that would be amazing, actually. That would be the rom com I would tune in for. Yeah, she's typical Michelle Rodriguez in this. Just a badass.
yeah, and one of my favorite roles recently of hers is a role in Dungeons and Dragons. I know. Have you seen that movie?
I didn't catch it. Was it good?
It
Was it
was
worth it?
really good. Actually,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if you grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons. Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. But
My brother did. Shout out to Justin.
It's a fun game to use your imagination. A lot of people,
Hmm.
I've had friends play the same game for over 20 years.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
cool. The same like battle, the same story.
same journey. They're still going on.
Yeah,
It's a long
that's
journey,
crazy. Hmm.
but for her character, she's basically just playing a brute, and
Oh,
with an
okay.
axe. Like she's the tough one. Well, like Chris Pine's
Hmm.
character is like he's the bard. He makes the plans. He sings the songs.
Nice.
And he lets Michelle Rodriguez beat up the bad guys.
That's great. That's perfect. That's the role she was born to play.
Exactly. And even when she was facing up with Ronda Rousey in Fast and Furious, you're like,
Mm.
in real life, Ronda would
Who?
probably kick her ass, but it's Michelle Rodriguez in Fast
Mm.
and Furious, so they're pretty much equal there.
Mm.
But okay, so we get on this train. Train's power is off. She ends up, powering it on. There's a small little jump scare, nothing big. It was just one of the guys hanging his head down, just one of her teammates, um, because we see some like a broken fence or something like that below the train that looks like there's
Mm.
blood dripping from it. We don't know what's going on. Something came out of there, and there's a small little jump scare right there.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what's something's coming down? Look, oh no, it's just her. It's just her partner. And then she starts up the train, and then there we go. We get going, and then
Woohoo.
woohoo! But there's a door that's jammed. There's a door that's jammed on the train, and then we get introduced to a new character, and this character apparently has some relation with Alice.
Yeah.
She sees
She's
him in her
it,
visions now. Her memory is sort of coming back, but it's still
mhm.
fuzzy. And they both have wedding rings on. And her
Yeah.
and she looks at her wedding ring, and it says "Property of the Umbrella Corporation." They own
Yeah.
everything.
Just your cover. That's just your cover.
Just your cover, exactly. Um, so he doesn't remember who he is as well. Somehow, both of them, there's a security measure in the mansion that basically gives you amnesia. I don't know why.
Yeah.
What would that? That wouldn't help your security. Like they're supposed to be literally hired as security. Let's wipe the security's memory. Why?
Yeah. It's
But
like
they
Men in Black kind of stuff.
I mean, they're literally trained to protect the hive, and so
Hmm.
you're going to set a security measure to harm your security, so they don't know what to do
In case of capture,
in case of capture.
gas their memory away.
Well, there's a lot of so there's a lot of stupid things that a lot of the members of the Umbrella Corporation do in here, and they should
Hmm.
know better. You would think as a
Right.
company, even sending down their security crews, they would inform them not to do this, not to do this, be careful of this. You know, there's a reason why our AI is doing this, but no, they're gonna
Yeah.
like we need to shut it down and like because apparently the artificial intelligence in this hive is one of the reasons why all these people are dead. But they
Hmm.
don't question why. They just go, "We're going in and we're shutting her down."
It's that kill switch that we were talking about in the government recently. Like, whatever happened with that? Did we decide to have the kill switch on AI? I mean, watch Resident Evil. That's all I'm saying.
So they finally get down to the hive, and there is actually probably the best hallway
It's so
kill
cool.
scene in they have in here.
It's my favorite.
It's really quick.
It's so
Um,
good.
they redo do it in one of the later movies as well. I think it was the third one, but that was like it
Hmm.
was all they were trying to replicate the whole hallway scene. Actually, the whole area they're trying to replicate it. I don't want to spoil too much for anybody who hasn't seen the third movie.
Is it better because it's a newer
No,
movie, or
no. It was. I'll just say it had to do with clones. There were clones,
okay?
so
Hmm.
they were trying to make another Alice. Let's just say she's
Fair.
such a badass. They're trying to make more of her.
Hmm. Right. Of course
Exactly.
you would. Yeah,
So
no, this was my favorite scene of the whole movie.
yeah, and it's a really clever like because there's no real villain in this like hallway. It's just a bunch of lasers. You know, like what's scary about
Hmm.
lasers? How about lasers that turn into a net? Okay.
Yeah. Well, the unfortunate thing is that it you I don't know if these lasers were programmed to antagonize their victims to make them feel like they had made it through the gauntlet. But I love the way that they start out just kind of minimal, just sort of a cut a finger off to a oh, we're gonna go a little higher. Can you, limbo? And then yeah, a net, as you said, a laser waffle iron, basically. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Never seen anything like it in a movie.
there's no
So
escape
cheers.
from it. It's like, well,
No.
you're fucked.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, well, here's your
Basically. In
paycheck.
a
Here's
in
your
a
pay.
lot of
Yeah,
pieces.
here's your paycheck. Thank you for stopping in. That was it. That was my scene. Yep,
Hmm.
that was your scene. You're dead.
Yeah.
You're the
That's it.
little bitty pieces.
Hence the stupid things that these people should know what to expect and how to be armed against, but alas.
Yeah, and then one of the other officers, the Kaplan, he decides to go in and after braving the hallway to get past it, because they're trying to get to the core of the Red Queen, who's basically the AI running this whole facility. Um, Decides to shut it down, but before that, she comes online in sort of this hologram, this really creepy red hologram form, and um, she is like warning them, "Don't do this." Like I'm trying
Yeah.
to give you some information and the reasons I did stuff, and the guy's like, "Don't trust her, don't believe her," and it's like, why would she be lying to you?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, aren't you?
is she designed to lie to you? I don't know, but like, she is. There's a they think that she's malfunctioning, and she has a reason for why she's doing stuff.
Mhm.
And right before she gets shut down, she's like, "You're all gonna die down here." It's like, is that a
Thanks.
threat or is it? And we
Mm.
find out that later. It's like, no, she's actually been trying to keep back, basically the horde,
Yeah.
um, the undead.
Hmm.
I always like, there's different zombie movies that have like different ways the zombies come back. It's either viral or supernatural.
Hmm.
The original Night of the Living Dead, they never explained exactly what it
No.
was, but it was like that was like the grandfather of zombie films.
Yeah. They just did.
They just came and it was more of a
It's Barbara's fault.
it's Barbara. I do
It's
like
because Barbara was tripping through the graveyard.
I do like Patricia Tallman's version of Barbara in the was it 1990s Night of the Living Dead.
The later remake.
Yeah, that
Hmm.
had what was it? That had Tony Todd and Patricia Tallman
Hmm.
in there. And I thought that was a much better version of it because she wasn't such a pushover. Um Actually, I bet the original Barbara too. She's really nice. I have a picture
Oh,
with her.
cool.
Yeah.
Ah.
But yeah, so yeah, we have zombies in here, and a lot of these they're in this. Some of them are in a room full of like containers that are being powered, and immediately when they shut off, the Red Queen in the core of the facility, it shuts off all the power to the containment units. Oops,
Oops.
oops. You think you would being like smart people realize that these things that are holding maybe dangerous creatures probably shouldn't shut off the power.
I mean, one would think, but again, you think about things today and you're like, I mean, it always seems like somebody forgot to do something. So the human race is we're so wonderfully flawed that we can have the smartest people in the world, putting everything together, thinking of everything, but yet leaving out the simplest piece. I think as long as there's humans involved, it still works for the movie because we miss things, don't we?
Oh yeah,
So I'd buy it. I'd buy it.
Yeah, and then we have a little story in here where we have like these environmentalists. Basically, they want to sabotage what they believe is destroying, the natural world, and we find out that Matt is part of that group along with his sister Lisa, who we see at the beginning of the film.
Hmm.
Um, she dies behind glass while Halon is being shoved down her throat.
What was she in? Was she in? She looked really familiar to me.
Let's see. I don't know if I've seen her in anything else. I might have seen her somewhere. I would have to look that up.
Huh, yeah. She just looked familiar to me. She almost looked like the woman who played the main character in Species.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not her.
Mm-mm.
Heike Makash. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce her
Mm-hmm.
name.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So yeah, apparently they were trying to you know save the world or save the environment or something like that. Lisa
Up the
infiltrated.
madness.
Yeah. She infiltrated Umbrella to get enough evidence for illegal experiments and shut the Umbrella Corporation down. But she never made it out.
Nope.
Nope,
No.
never made it out. But he's trying to figure out what happened. He's hoping to find his sister and save her, but we find out that she's not alive. No one's down there is
Yeah.
alive, but they are undead.
Yeah.
Ooh. No,
And we also, we also get that thing too.
the
We get
thing
glimpses of that thing at the beginning. What do we refer to that thing? Does it have a name?
they're called liquors.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
there's a reason why they're called
thank,
liquors. Is they have
thank you.
they have a long tongue. They're like Gene
Mm-hmm.
Simmons on yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, crack and steroids. Fantastic. Was that ever explained in this movie, or is it just from your knowledge of the game?
It's a mutation. So it's a mutation
Okay.
made from the T virus. There's a lot of
Hmm.
creatures that are created from the T virus, and lickers are one of them. You do not want
I
to get
do love. Oh, go ahead.
no, you don't want to get licked by them.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, in general, no, I would say. But is there something else to that? Is there like a poison on the tongue or something?
I think they're sort of like a paralytic. That
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
and they'll just like rip you. They'll just rip you apart. They're really hard to kill.
Yeah.
You have to shoot them
Ugh.
directly in the head too.
I do love the explanation of that, in that it was saying that this is what happens when you inject the virus directly into a living subject.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the start of the movie, when you catch glimpses of the liquor, um, I that one to me, I was waiting to hate that storyline, because I assumed that it wouldn't have a good explanation at the end of it, but they did, and I appreciate that. A lot of times, I feel like movies will just throw in monsters to make the movie scary, but they don't provide the backstory. So that was kind of nice. I didn't love the backstory, however, on the zombies in this. I think it's the Red Queen that explains it at one point, and she um, is it the Red Queen or is it someone else? Anyway, they explain that your cells continue to live on, and that's why hair and nails continue to grow after you die, which is not true. So I'm like, did they not learn that until after this movie came out, or did they just not do enough research, or is the Red Queen just a liar?
No,
One
they
of the
use current science.
right, current science. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that fun fact was already known or not. I know it was a old sort of lore that, because when they would pull up bodies, it had, that appearance of continuing to grow nails, but it's just the skin continuing to recede. So, um, well, update. I'm sure that this movie 2002, it's probably due to be remade here in the next couple of years anyway, so they can catch it on the back end.
Oh, they've already remade it, and it was horrible.
Oh, they did. I missed that.
Yeah,
But maybe that's a good thing.
they remade it without Alice. It was more based on the original first two Resident Evil games, and
Okay.
they royally fucked up.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
don't do that.
yeah. Don't do
Don't
that.
lesser than.
No, it's like they had the characters play certain characters that are very beloved in the games really poorly, like doing things that the characters would never do or even say. And you're going, do I have to look at the old Resident Evil movies and say they're more accurate on the games, even though Alice was never a video game character? She was made for the movies.
I feel like, okay, this is my call out to production companies across the world who are all listening. Uh, if you're going to take something that's made that has some strong fandom behind it, maybe do a consulting group before you do so, just to make sure that you're not, in the immortal words of my colleague here, royally fucking up. Because I can think of a number of movies that were remade where they you just shouldn't have. Immediately, Nightmare on Elm Street comes to mind, but there are so many that there's a lot that are amazing after the fact, but there's so many that just don't mess with a good thing unless you're really going to do it right. Let's face it.
Oh yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there are too many franchises that don't even consult the original creators of
Yeah.
of the they're doing an adaptation, sometimes of a video game, sometimes of a cartoon, sometimes you have a an older movie. They never do any
Hmm.
like major consulting. There's this TV show I watch on Netflix called One Piece,
Okay.
and the original creator of the show is actually one of the executive producers of the show. And
Hmm.
nothing that happens on the show without his say. He's been given like
Okay.
insane amount of power on this show. Um,
Good.
Basically, he makes sure that the actors that are cast, he has to approve them. He has to approve like of how they're going to chop up his story because it's over 1,000 episodes in the anime, so they have to condense it. Um,
Hmm.
so when you're trying to do an adaptation, especially a fan favorite like Resident Evil, that is like going into its, I forget how many number of games. It's almost, what was it, eighth, ninth, 10th. I forget what how many games there are in the series because there's all different like there's games in between those numbers games, and there's Biohazard, which is a completely different game, but still part of Resident Evil.
An
Um,
offs and
it often like updates and everything. So there's a bunch of games. I think there's like over a dozen games now in Resident Evil series.
okay.
So it's a well-known, well-beloved, franchise.
Yeah. Do your research.
Do you no don't just do your research. I think when you think that you could
Consult.
do it better, or you think let's
Hmm.
uh use poetic license and let's do what I think these characters are. Like no, no,
Yeah.
it's not working, and it bombed at the box office really badly.
To your point with the show that you watch, not to squirrel hunt too much off topic, but the only time that comes immediately to mind where I was blown away by the remake was Hills Have Eyes. And that's because Wes Craven does Wes Craven. I mean, when you do something like that, that would, Spielberg, redo Jaws, see what happens. When you have the original behind it, remaking it, I think something really cool can happen. But if you don't, you're probably just going to screw it up.
Yeah, yeah, and here we have some really cool characters in here. Like I said, Michelle Rodriguez's character is really cool. She plays this character named Rain. Um, we're crossing our fingers to see if she survives to the end. She's such a badass character too.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and of course we have Alice, who's started to wake up to this whole ordeal. There's a really cool scene in here where she actually is being attacked by like T virus infected dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Their
Yeah. Meat dogs.
yeah, their face splits open, and just like, oh, okay, so that's how they evolved with this virus. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're against hurting animals in here, this is not the movie for you.
Yeah. That watching it, I was like, that is a Doberman with steak on it. But it's kind of cool. And I definitely remember uh, bits and pieces of that. And for the gamer in the room, 100% there are zombie animals in the video game,
Oh
correct?
yes,
That's like a big piece of it because I
that's
definitely remember that.
oh yeah, that's like something that sold a lot of people for this movie that were gamers to see those dogs in there. They're like, ah, there you go. You added something in that we know about. Because when they introduced
Yeah.
Alice in the trailer, I can tell you this because I've been playing since the first game. A lot of gamers were confused on why they would introduce a character that's not even in the video game.
Hmm.
That has never been a character in the video game. And really only until like the second movie did they introduce characters that were actually in the video game.
Well, look at her. That's why. I
yeah,
mean, hello.
I mean, at the very end of this movie, so I'll skip to the end really quickly. At the very end, they introduce a character, or at least the origin of a character that will later on become a villain. Um, he starts off as a good guy, but ends up turned into a villain. And he goes into the Nemesis program.
Dun
Um,
dun
dun dun
dun.
dun, which will introduce you into the second movie, Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
How much longer was it when was it a couple of years or
let's
was it
see.
already in the works?
What was it? Resident Evil Apocalypse was. I have the movies. I just don't have the years down in my brain right now.
Was
Um,
Mila already dating Paul W.S. Anderson
I,
when
I believe she
because
was.
that
I believe she was. Like they got married in 2009, so this was 2002.
okay. I was just wondering
Um,
if perhaps that was also a reason that they
two
introduced a
years.
character that
It was 2 years. And that was done by that movie was directed by Alexander Witt, but it was written by Paul W. S. Anderson
okay.
and produced
All
by him.
right.
So he still had something to do with it. Um, in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, I consider Resident Evil, all in all, I consider it more of the horror film, while Apocalypse was more of the action horror film.
Yeah.
Um,
This was definitely action horror leaning, which is and sci-fi-ish a little bit too. Which is not my usual go-to. So it was I definitely wondered as I watched this at the very beginning. I'm like, when's it going to get to the horror part? And then it showed up in a big way.
yeah, I always consider like these type of horror films when it has to deal with like areas that are very claustrophobic, very
Hmm.
shut in areas, places that you can't go to. You basically have to go through the creature because there's no way out. It's just a tunnel or a small room or something like that.
Right.
Um, it's that type of like horror that is like you can't get away. In Apocalypse,
Hmm.
they're outside. They can run around. They can go to building to building. They can, you
Hmm.
know, hide in a car. It doesn't matter. They're outside, and it becomes more action packed. Um,
Yeah, you got to fight.
yeah, they can fight. Going in when you can't swing things very easily in a small room or whatever, because of space reasons. You have more horror type of scenes in there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, and I feel that like I said, I felt the Resident Evil was more horror based than the rest of the franchise, because then they just got like the further on they went, they got more ridiculous. like
Oh,
with
okay. Good
with
to
the,
know.
with I mean the creatures get more like advanced. They get like
Hmm.
bigger. They get to the point of like these giant ogre type of like creatures. They're huge,
Okay.
huge, like giants,
Hmm.
um, swinging around giant hammers. Don't ask.
Oh,
It's
fair.
part of a video game.
I won't.
They wanted to throw it in, or they also throw in like an Asian character named Ada Wong in the later films that
Hmm.
so poorly dubbed, so poorly dubbed. When she
Oh
talks, you're
no.
like, Just let
Mm,
her speak English, even if it's bad
yeah.
English. But your dubbing is so off that this like she'll be speaking and the words
Felt
will come
like
out, and it's like
felt
you're
like 1970s monster movies from Japan.
yeah, basically, or any like westernized like Japanese film, like martial arts film that came out that they're
Mm,
like, let's dub it. Well, it doesn't match the
love
lips.
it.
We don't care. We just translate
Hmm.
it. They're not actually saying that.
Early Treacherous 3 with Michelle.
Yes.
Love it.
Um, but yeah, that later films they actually introduced actual video game characters because I think that was
Okay.
one major complaint about this film from fans is that it really didn't have any characters that anybody knew from the game franchise. It had the name Resident Evil, but it felt like a completely different film with just the company Umbrella Corporation behind it.
So that kind of harkens back to Until Dawn, right?
Yeah.
I say as the non-gamer in the room again, but I remember you saying that up until the very ending, it wasn't really the video game, which a lot of people were really shocked about when they went to the movies because they were expecting something totally different.
Yeah, I mean, they were expecting the first game that they played, and they only
Hmm.
make a reference to that at the very end, where the camera
Hmm.
switched to that snowy cabin, and then the fans are
Right.
like, "Okay, so this is a prequel."
Gotcha. We're going
So
to get as much money out of this, as much blood out of this turnip as we can.
yes, and they probably will never come back to it because the game is supposed to be
Oh.
you know, if the game is fun, and the decisions you have to
Hmm.
make are kind of interesting, but like for Until Dawn, but it wasn't extremely well received like the video game was. And
Okay.
in here, it's received more cult classic, like like critically from the audience because people accept it as part of the Resident Evil lore now
Okay.
because later on they do introduce more of the video game characters and stuff. And Alice has just become just a general badass that people really enjoy.
Hmm.
But when it
Yeah.
first came out, even in the trailer, people were questioning who is this character. Like, why would you
Hmm.
introduce a new character as the main character?
Yeah.
Same thing, I would say about the remake of Mortal Kombat. They introduced a character that was never in the video games, um, and they wanted everyone, all the Mortal Kombat fans, to be like, "You must like him. Why? He's not
You
Johnny.
must.
He's not Johnny Cage. He's not Jax. He's not, Raiden or anything else like that. And you want this unknown guy to be the main character, the
Hmm.
protagonist of the film. It's hard to introduce like an unknown character or created character for a well-known franchise and expect
Yeah.
everybody to accept him or her or them or whatever.
Hmm.
And you're looking at it going, unless there's a good story behind it that connects everybody else to their story, um, it's just gonna, you
And
know,
it helps if they're hot.
yeah. I mean, a lot of times they try to find somebody that's hot.
Yeah. It's
It,
the movies.
yeah. I mean, and for like Mila Jovovich later on in her like illustrious action career, her husband has always managed to find a hallway, like a dangerous hallway, and throw her down it.
Hmm. That's a at least 2 week series in therapy is what that is. A lot of discussions. What's up with the hallway?
She seems to enjoy it. I don't know if you've seen the Three Musketeers movie, but basically she does like a Resident Evil thing where she goes through this like booby trap hallway and then slides to the finish line
Nice.
in a dress
Nice. Well, got
and
her.
and a
Yeah, well, of course.
and a corset. Not
Of
easy.
course she does.
Yes.
No. Boots? Boots or heels?
uh, this was takes place during what was it, King Louis? So their heels weren't as big. Men were wearing higher heels than women, I think, at the time.
Well, hey.
Yeah.
Well, I like that, at the as this movie progresses, I like that her character, you talked about the dogs. I think it was shortly after that she starts to, in speaking of her, um, abilities in this movie, she starts to have these moments where she is fighting off dogs, zombies, and she's like, you can see her going, what the hell? I can do this. She does like a run, jump, kick off of a wall, and she's like, okay, how was that possible? Which is exactly how I would feel if suddenly I did it. Um, and that's kind of a fun development of this character throughout the movie. She wakes up, gassed, whatever, not really remembering things. You mentioned is this my husband? He's got rings. The rings both say Umbrella Corporation, and they kind of pass it off like, no, he's one of your colleagues. That was part of your cover. But she's slowly recollecting things as she is going on, which I liked that because seeing unbelievably beautiful people in a movie who suddenly can do crazy action, um, combat, handle a gun really exceptionally well without any sort of backstory is bothersome to me. So I liked that they wrapped that all in and also led to, allowed it to lead to more character development and her discovery of who she is and what her origin was in this story.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It reminds me of like when she's waking up, like out of her amnesia. Have you ever seen a movie with Gina Davis called The Long Kiss Goodnight? With
No. Mm-mm.
okay, it's with Samuel L. Jackson. Basically, she plays this mother in this like small town, who later find out that she used to be an assassin, but she lost her memory after this horrible incident, and
Mm-hmm.
she woke up and basically had to start her life over again, not knowing who she was in the past. We find out later that she's this well trained assassin. So like, she's like cutting tomatoes one day, and all of a sudden she realizes that she can really do some really cool tricks with a knife and everything. And then she ends up like tossing the tomatoes over on the wall and just sticking the knife into the tomatoes on the wall and not knowing how she did it. And then
that's my dream, honestly.
finding out you had like special abilities,
Yes.
or like finding out your past may have a lot of bodies and skeletons in the closet.
No. The first. I want to just suddenly be able to kick some major ass and go, huh. I want to be able to throw a tomato at the wall and spear it into the wall with a kitchen knife because what a great party trick.
It is. It would be really cool. It freaked out the character's husband in there because he had never seen
I
that.
bet.
Like she and her daughter are like looking at her like, "How are you doing that?"
What, mom?
Yes.
What?
Can't explain to them why
Well,
until later on. Find out that like your past is not even real, and what you believe who you are is not even a real person, and you're actually, a killer.
that's rough. That's
Yep.
the rough part. I just want the talents. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And
Well,
here
I think
she like
mhm,
fully awakens, and then she's just a complete badass. I think she can use anything,
yeah.
like as you know any sharp object to kill, and she uses as much in here to take out as many zombies and creatures that you can find in here, because
Mhm,
they're all after them. They are
yeah.
they're you know the survivors are basically, there's not that many people left. There's like what, Kaplan, there's
No.
Rain, there's Matt, there's Alice. They're all trying to get out.
Mhm.
Um,
I like that you can see some of the characters from the start, that you didn't really get to know, kind of show up. You remember various scenes of the shutdown of the hive, and those scenes replay with some of these zombie characters. Those callbacks are great. It just gives the story a little bit more depth. Um, and this is about the time in the movie too where she starts also recalling that she might have something more to do with perhaps the virus getting out too. So that character development is starting to happen as well in real time as she's, just fighting zombies and meat dogs and getting prepped to fight the liquor, which is I can't wait to tell everybody who I watch this movie with that that's the name of that thing.
Yeah,
Going to be the highlight of my evening.
it's not a very like original name, but he has a long tongue and he licks. That's
I would prefer it no other way.
exactly. So they end up back on the train, and they inject Rain and Kaplan with the antivirus. The liquor attacks them, like basically rips
Yeah.
away part of the train. The claws are very strong on this creature. And ends up clawing Matt and killing Kaplan. Unfortunately, I was
Yeah.
hoping Kaplan would
Pulls.
survive because
Yeah.
he was a good guy. Like he's
Yeah.
out of a lot of the soldiers, like I was hoping for him and Rain to survive. And
Such luck.
yeah, yeah. So Alice subdues the liquor, and unfortunately, Rain becomes a zombie. The virus takes her over. Attacks Matt. The antivirus apparently has failed. It doesn't
Yeah.
work. Um,
Hmm.
and anyway,
That was I don't want to say it was a nice moment, but that was a refreshing, still not a good word. It was a moment in this movie because we don't ever expect that. If you have a character that is, very prominent throughout the film, going all the way through, we knew that Rain, Michelle Rodriguez, was in for it very early on. We kind of watched her character get worse and worse after she got bit originally, right? Was she bit or scratched? I can't
uh,
remember. Um,
I think you could be either bit or scratched. I think she was scratched.
yeah, yeah. So we see she's going downhill, and against all odds, they make it back on the train, and they're on the clock. The clock is ticking. They have to get out before everything shuts down. And of course, they get on the train, and they've got the anti venom. And there's even this moment where Alice gives the anti venom, and Rain kind of, acts like she, isn't going to take the anti venom well or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay, yay, good, saved her. And then she doesn't get saved. That's very unexpected with this movie. You don't see that happen in a lot of movies.
Yeah,
And Alice takes her out too.
yeah. And then we have like the train finally gets back to the mansion. Finally gets up to where they started. And before Alice can even try to see if the antivirus will work on Matt, um, because
Yeah.
he's starting to mutate. So he's not just turning into a zombie; he's turning into something else.
Hmm.
Something from the liquor apparently is something you don't want
Dang
to be
it.
scratched by that thing.
Front row.
He's starting to mutate more into a different type of creature. A
Yeah.
bunch of Umbrella scientists, sees them, and yeah, they basically
Deja vu.
strap him down, and they're like, put him in the Nemesis program. And for anybody that's a video game fan, they know exactly what that means.
I did not.
Yes, he will become Nemesis.
Nemesis. Yeah, I just thought
Stars.
damn. I just wanted to know what the difference was because when the people broke in the first time, they were all in black with gas masks. And this time it was a whole different group of people all in white that broke in. I felt very much like I was in a Lady Gaga video here with, Red Queen. I don't know. Shout out to the latest tour. But
I'm a little
I'm
monster.
not a gamer. Yeah, hey, a liquor. Um, not being a gamer, the Nemesis piece kind of flew right past me, to be honest.
I was
But I
figure.
definitely, yeah, definitely though knew it was something different was going on because a different group of people busting into the house, into the mansion. Um, so, and then of course, Alice waking up in two pieces of paper, of course,
Exactly.
because she's hot. You've got, I mean, yes, that we all wanted that. We all wanted her to wake up in not a hospital gown, but just the front piece of paper and the back piece of paper,
It
with
reminded, yeah,
tubes. And
it reminded me
mhm,
of
go ahead.
a scene in The Fifth Element where her character is recreated, and all she is like completely naked until they put those little small strips of white whatever like to cover her
Yeah.
bits and pieces. And it's like,
Hmm.
we're back to that again, are we?
Well, funny enough, the group that I was watching this movie with, this was one of the parts that got the biggest like cringe moment in the movie was some of the tubes that she had, I don't know why. Here's the thing. If I'm ever awakening in a hospital with a bunch of needles and tubes in me, I promise you I'm not going to feverishly rip them out of me. But people always do this in movies.
Yeah.
Doctors out there, please let us know. Does this happen? I feel like it doesn't.
When an
But
apocalypse,
it when
probably.
yes, then but when she pulls out those tubes, it's like, ooh, yeah, it's gnarly for sure.
Yeah, and for some people
A
that
new
don't know what's
haircut.
going on is they're trying to experiment with her because they're trying to figure out how she survived all that. Um,
Ah, okay.
and apparently, right after they took them in, the scientists are like, "Let's go down the hive and see what happened." Oh, let's reopen
Hmm.
the hive again after we just
Mm.
escaped. Intelligent, yeah. This is an intelligent company. This is an international, like
Hmm.
multi-billion-dollar company that's going. Well, the first and second time didn't work out. Let's go a third time and leave the door open.
Hmm. Yeah.
And Alice ends
No.
up waking up in a and going outside, like half naked in a you can see it right in the scene right here in a lab coat. Finds a shotgun in a police officer vehicle, and the
Hmm.
whole city is been devastated.
Yeah. Which is cool. It's a cool pan for
Yeah,
sure.
that's Raccoon City, and it leads up into the second film, where they kind of explain what happened, um, and we get introduced to Jill Valentine, which is badass.
I'm going to guess that Raccoon City is 100% the name of the city in the game because that feels like such a video game city
It is,
name.
it is. Yeah,
So, if had I not already known that this was a video game, if I were to watch this movie and hear the name Raccoon City, I would instantly pick up my phone and try and Google what video game the movie was made after.
if you ever get a chance, watch the sequel. It's fun. I liked it.
Okay.
Like I said, it's more action-based oriented horror than it actually is of horror. So it's not really scary. Like it doesn't have those
Hmm.
like jump scares or like dark corners like they have in here. It's more of like out in the open, but you have bigger
Hmm.
creatures and more zombies and more fun characters to deal with because they're survivors around the city and everything. And they actually gate in the whole city. No one can leave,
Oh,
and anybody that tries to leave, they get killed.
okay.
So
Fun.
yeah,
It's fair.
so we get this is like this scene right here is pretty much the aftermath of almost all that. So
Hmm.
she wakes up already with the city basically devastated from this thing. Um,
The end, or is it? Question mark.
yes, 6 movies later. Not kidding. I'm not kidding. It gets ridiculous. There's like flying giant bat creatures that are almost the size of dragons.
Okay.
There's creatures with like that looks like they look like executioners with giant, bags over their heads with
Then
giant
are all of
swords.
are all of these sequels to this movie still adaptations from the video game? Does the video game also have all these things in it?
A lot of the creatures later on are pulled from the games, but like the
Hmm.
storyline in general, that gets to a point where like the main like villain of this whole thing ends up becoming the president of the United States. But he's
Okay.
trying to protect the
Also,
world. He's trying to protect the so he ends up having to be a good guy in the end because the world is
uh-huh.
about to be overtaken. So he's like, well, I need Alice,
Like,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna give Alice back her superpowers, and yes, Alice becomes superpowered.
All right.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna plug her in, it's a bunch of tubes in her. I also have another important question. when I say video game over and over again instead of just saying game, does it appear that I was an 80s child?
I mean,
Is that, do people still say video game or is it just game?
it's either. You don't really have to say video game or
Okay,
game. I
thank
mean,
you.
people know what
Appreciate that.
you're really saying because it is based on a game. It is based on a video game. It's it doesn't matter. It's not a board game.
Mm.
That would be an
I
interesting
didn't know
board
if
game.
I didn't know if my Gen X was showing again.
Shh, say you're a millennial. Say you're a millennial.
I'm on the, what do they say? I'm on the cusp.
You're on the
You know,
cusp.
it's funny, the millennials on the cusp do not like to, they always just go Gen X. I'm
Yeah,
Gen X.
I'm an
I'm not gonna say I'm a
I'm an
millennial.
elder millennial. So
And ooh, elder millennial. I don't like that.
yes, I'm 85, so I'm an elder millennial.
85 years. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're born in 85. I
yeah.
thought you were declaring that you were 85. I'm like,
No,
whoa, now come on. I feel like you're jabbing at me now.
I'm not that Asian. Okay.
That's awesome.
But no,
This,
it's
mhm,
a fun film. I really enjoy this film.
yeah.
Whenever I actually own this on Blu-ray and DVD, and I have the whole series, and they may not all
Okay.
be great. Some of them go really ridiculous with the storylines, just so they could introduce characters from the video game. But all in all, I believe the first one um, was just a fun horror film. It didn't even have to have Resident Evil behind the name, in my opinion, because it didn't have
Okay.
much to do in the way except for certain references to Resident Evil until
Hmm.
really later on. But even if it did have it, if it just had, I think the original title of this was Biohazard, just like the original video game.
Okay.
In Japan, it was released
Oh,
as
okay.
Biohazard, and before it came to America, and they changed the name to Resident Evil. Um, yeah, even if it were released with that title and no one knew what they were referencing at all, I think it would have still done pretty well.
Yeah.
But it's
It did
still,
very well.
yeah, it's a cult classic today. Like people love this.
Yeah.
When they're talking about zombie films, they'll definitely
Hmm.
bring this up because it's ridiculous in some things that happen in here. Um, but I think out of all the films, this one is a slightly more realistic in because later on, like I said, she gains superpowers. She gains um I don't want to spoil too much. I'll let you watch it. But
Okay.
like telekinesis and stuff, it's really weird.
Cool.
She's cloned
Actually,
multiple times, so she has all these she has this clone army, and everything. So
actually, I'll take the telekinesis instead of the tomato knife skills, not the cloning.
yeah, you could take all the knives at the same time and toss them using your
This
mind.
just your mind. This movie had a lot of money behind it. I mean,
Yes.
this is for 2002. This was a pretty big production. Do you have the stats in front of you?
It was 33 million.
33 million.
Yeah, it made 103
Um,
million dollars at the box office, and it wasn't a very long film too. It was all like 100 minutes. So,
yeah.
and there were not a lot of places I don't think they could really cut to make this film any shorter without have. There's some areas in here that they needed to explain some, storylines for some of the characters,
Which
especially
I'm
like Alice.
appreciative that they did.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I feel like a lot of movies, like I talked about, they would have not paid attention to the explanation. I don't know why I can't say that word today. Rented lips. But it's so important because it just with a zombie movie you want some element of realism because zombie movies have been done so many different ways. So I appreciated them taking the time to give a little bit of backstory, and it didn't make the movie feel drawn out either. So I thought they did a good job with that.
oh yeah,
I was surprised it was rated R.
oh yeah. It was. Let's see. I think the second one they might have made it PG-13. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Resident
This felt like a
Evil
PG-13, but again, here we are,
Apocalypse.
I think with, the ratings as time has gone on have, you can just get away with a lot more these days than you could. And again, not to make us feel like time is slipping away, but this was a long time ago. This is 24 years now. God, 24 years.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it for me. It makes me feel
This
really
this
old.
movie just graduated college,
I saw
starting a family.
I saw this movie in theaters, so
Oh wow, yeah,
it's one of those
must have been
films that
sad.
I like to look back at and just like I enjoy it. There's not a lot in here that's campy, but there's some decision making in here. Then I go back and watch it, going like, that was really stupid. That was like,
Mhm.
these people are supposed to be like really smart, right? And they're doing this
Yeah,
and this and this and this leads to the literal apocalypse in the world. Um,
I didn't. I think probably rewatching, I would have nitpicked on some of that. I honestly wasn't too aggressive with any of that because it was my first watch. I was impressed with a lot of what was happening to them rather than thinking, gosh, aren't they smarter to not let this stuff happen to them? Um, did pick up a couple, like I said, the thing with the, well, the dead keep, cells stay alive. Like, oh, come on. Um, but again, who knows if that was a well-known fact at that time. Um, and some of the CGI maybe too, like
to to be
don't
fair,
love.
Stan Lee put gamma radiation in everything in Marvel. Like that's this gamma radiation will mutate you, and he admitted in an interview that he didn't know what gamma radiation really was. It sounded cool, so he put it
It
in his
does sound cool.
stories. Like the Hulk became the Hulk because of gamma radiation, and it's like actual scientists are like gamma radiation doesn't do that. That's
I
not
don't
what
know what
gamma
gamma
radiation
radiation is,
is.
so I'm still buying it. Stanley forever.
Exactly. But yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It's currently, like I said, it's currently on Prime right now. I own it on Blu-ray and DVD. Actually, I have like this whole box set of all the films. That's how much I enjoy this series, even if the later movies are kind of ridiculous.
Hmm.
Um, I would say not in the area of camp, more of just like things go really crazy.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
to the point where it's like it goes from horror to basically horror sci-fi to basically just sci-fi action.
Well, what movie are they on now? 6, 7? So sorry.
Let's see. Hold on a second. I think they did for the original series. One second, I had it up here.
I mean, at a certain point, if you're going to make it that far in a series, you got to start figuring out how to, you know,
One,
jump
two,
that
three,
proverbial
four,
shark.
5, 6. They did six of this series with the Paul W. Anderson series. Then they did in 2001 uh, Welcome to Raccoon City, which was the remake. And then they're supposed to be releasing another film this
Okay.
year. I don't know.
Welcome to Raccoon City, I never would have watched, so I'm not surprised that I had no idea they remade this movie.
I
That title, I would have instantly said, I'm not watching that.
I don't.
It's surprising that you have that many sequels with the same director. Or at least writer.
Yeah,
You said he was the
or
writer.
producer. Like that's his baby.
Yeah.
I mean, when he has his wife behind
Mhm.
he's got to keep him in the loop somehow.
That's what I wished for Chris Nolan with the Batman movies. Just wanted it to last forever.
Yes, I wanted him to do something with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but that we never
Yeah,
got
I
that.
know.
We never got
Yeah,
it.
was he fully going to be Robin or was he going to be the Wing? We'll never know.
Well, they're one and the same, but yes.
But
there has to be
what
Robin
which
first before it
version?
becomes Nightwing.
Right. I mean, The Dark Knight was such a different group of comics than, a lot of the earlier Batman comics. So, It's so good. Sorry, Squirrel Hunt, but
Squirrel.
this movie, what was your rating?
All right, so my rating on this one was have to be like a 7. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. It's not one that I do like to rewatch, but I don't put it on a high pedestal when it comes to like horror, like a super like the story is pretty simple. Okay, basically, there's a virus, infiltrate a base, try to get out alive.
Right.
There's nothing really big. There's no you know master plan or anything. Everything is actually just based on chaos. And you have this AI that's actually trying to qualm all this chaos, and the humans keep fucking it up.
Damn you, AI.
Well, the thing is, like, the AI originally in here is like they're looking at it as she's the bad guy, and she's like, "No, you guys mess things up. I'm trying to stop things from spreading, and then you come in here and try to shut me down, and I'm trying to keep everything in place. Like I'm trying to shut all the doors, keep anybody coming from in here, because there are bad things in this place that you've created that I don't want
Damn
to
you, humans.
let out. And they come in and like, let's investigate and let's open all the doors and keep all the
Mhm.
windows open and something's going to escape. And the AI is like basically going, well, you're all going to die down here. It's not a threat. It's basically just a warning.
Mhm.
But the way she
Right.
says it is, you're all going to die down here
As
in
a
in
child.
a British
Right.
accent.
You're all going to die down here.
Why do so many
Just not happy at all.
so many villains in movies have to be British somehow?
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know why.
Well,
It's like because of their maybe because
sordid
of their
American
accent.
history.
Yeah, maybe because of their accent or something
Sordid
like that.
American history.
Small
Hmm.
little British girl sounds very threatening.
Hmm.
Apparently,
It
um,
is.
yeah. So yeah, I basically gave this a 7. I really enjoyed this film, and I highly recommend that people watch it and the rest of the series. Um, Not for like any major story plot points, but just to have
Hmm.
fun. Just a fun
Yeah.
series. Just to sit down and binge. Like I've literally sat
Hmm.
down and watched all 6 films in a row before. It's a long
Wow.
slog, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me first ask if you, with your rating, do you feel like because of your familiarity with the games that you might have liked the movie more?
I would say that would be correct. The more of like I have a little bit of a bias in there,
Yeah.
because of the name and because of just the
Fan of the
the
game.
plot of the game. Like I played it when it was so pixelated that you would look at it going, on the old PlayStation, like today's standards, we look at that, that's horrible looking. But at the time when we
Hmm.
played it in the 90s, we were like, this is awesome. These are the best graphics I've
Yeah.
ever seen. And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
the camera angle's really crappy. So basically, you can't change the camera angle. So when you're walking down a hallway, you can't look
Hmm.
around. When something jumps out at you at a window, like an arm grabs you, when we look at it today, it's just this pixelated arm. But at the time, we were like jumping out of our seats because we're playing at night. Um,
That's how I felt about Silent Hill. And I asked that question specifically because I know I was more hyped for Silent Hill because of the game.
mhm.
Not a gamer, very, very bad at playing anything other than the original Super Nintendo Mario franchise, which I still love to this day. But I wondered that because I feel like when you already have an appreciation for something, it might
Skew.
lend itself. Yeah, you might be a little bit more excited. I was going to give this movie a 5, but I just loved the laser scene that much. So I give this movie a 6, and that's saying something because sometimes I feel like I've damaged myself by how much awful gore and visceral effects and things I've watched in my life. But I still just get so excited when I see something new. I haven't seen anything like that, especially that well done. There might be something way back in my rear view that would be jogged if I happened to see it again that was a laser thing, but nothing like this. It was really cool. was really well done. And I don't think we had to talk about what the best kill was in the movie because it was so evident. Um, and watch it if you haven't watched it from somebody who hadn't watched this movie. Definitely watch it. Even if you're not a fan of these kind of movies, that is well worth it. The sort of once the laser pierces the slide of the what's been cut is really cool and really well done. I liked the story, like you said, it was a lot of fun. I liked the storyline. um, I liked how kind of quick and action packed it was. And the surprise, which unfortunately, if you haven't watched it, I fully gave away. Sorry, spoiler. Rain doesn't make it in the end, but it had a lot of it had a lot more heart to this movie. I think they put a lot more into it than what they probably would have had to, especially because it already had fans. And it's got her, and she's gorgeous. So people are going to tune out to watch this. They could have made it really trite. And I feel like they did put a lot more heart into it. So I give it a 6.
Okay, that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair. Yeah. This film, you were saying some of your favorite kills. I think in my opinion, my two favorite scenes in this movie were the intro to the film and the laser hall scene. Nothing against
cool
nothing against like like the dog fight between the T virus dogs versus Mila Jovovich. That's directly in the trailer, but we have the scene that we're not expecting, like the intro scene where we don't know what's killing these people. We just know that something is happening in this office and it's killing everyone. And then you have the hallway scene where the hall is just alive, just full of lasers. There's no way to get out. And then at the end, it's like Martin Cruz plays. Oh no, not Martin Cruz. Oh, Colin Salmon. He plays basically the leader of the security group. He just basically accepts his death. It's
dun,
like
dun,
dun
dun.
dun. It's like, well, because at first you think, oh wow, all the lasers are gone, everyone's safe now, or whoever's survived, and then it's like the laser goes like this, burn, and it's like this net of lasers, and he just looks at it like I'm fucked, and he doesn't say a word. He knows that it's gonna go right through him. I don't know if you've seen this movie called Ghost Ship.
Yes, I have.
So there's a scene at the very beginning. I saw this with my mom and my sister. I probably shouldn't have brought them with me to see that movie because one thing my sisters, no, they're all adults. But it's like my sister is aquaphobic, and also we went to see Final Destination 2, and she didn't drive on the freeway for like 3 months.
You're mean.
No, she's like,
anyone?
They thought it would be a cool thing. It's like, it's a boat. We love Titanic and everything else like that. But anyway, so the first scene you see is basically one of those giant wires that are strapped on ships, just like fleeing through everybody, and people slowly sliding off each other, and it's like, oh,
it's fun.
Oh, and the only person survives is the little girl because she's really short.
Yeah.
Played by Emily.
It's a fun kill for sure when they do that. It's the the art of the slide there.
Yeah, well, in here, like it's like it does it so quickly that some people don't even know that they're dead until they start falling off each other. Anyway, in here, it just goes right through, even through his eye too. It's like ooh.
Yeah, and then the sorry for the sound effects. Really good. And too, what an unfortunate thing. You're right. That beginning, there's a level of every single person that worked at that laboratory in the hive, they signed something.
Yeah.
That you read the paperwork, people. When you get a new job, don't just breeze through it. Read it, because I'm sure at least one guy in the break room who wasn't as good at his job didn't read the paperwork and had no idea that the room's going to fill with water.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not going to make it.
Well, pardon me. I'm going to cough for a second. I'm choking.
Yep. Cough. Yeah.
It went down
this
the
is
wrong
a public
pipe.
service announcement.
It went down the wrong
you
pipe.
Cough and all. You cough, and I'll do my public service announcement about making sure that you accurately fill out your W-2s.
Oh yeah, for your taxes.
Tax season.
Oh yeah,
Tax season.
already did mine.
Yeah, same. Done. Spend the money.
But yeah, so definitely an interesting film about shady
Mhm.
corporation that, you know, seems to be, trying to help people, but in the background it could actually destroy the world. Dun dun
Dun dun
dun.
dun. It's
For
almost like we planned
for
that.
skincare,
Hmm.
makes your
Hmm.
cells regenerate. Oops. Well, how does it do that?
Yeah.
Well, we're still working out the bugs. Kind of like the new show. What was it? Beauty, I think it was, with Ashton Kutcher.
Haven't seen it.
It's on FX. Basically, it
Hmm.
makes people like really attractive, really young
Oh,
looking, but it also has some side effects. Like you could
kills them.
explode.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, though, don't get me started because take a look around. There's a lot of weird people walking around out there.
I know, but I mean, would you take the risk, like looking young and sexy and like looking like a model,
No,
and then maybe later
girls,
on
eat.
walking down the runway, all of a sudden you go crazy, and then you just go kaboom and blow
No,
up.
no.
Yeah.
I'm all eat girl, and I'm not even just picking on the girls. Guys with your weird eyes that look way too awake. Stop it. Stop it. Come on. Not worth it.
Well, okay, so you gave it a 6. I gave it a 7. Um,
6, 7.
yeah. Don't, no, please don't do that. I'm too
I
old for
did it
that.
earlier. I
I
don't think you.
no, I heard you and I tried to ignore you.
You ignored it.
I tried to ignore you. I tried to
Who's
pretend
the
that.
elder millennial now?
Yes. Don't tell me one of your kids does 6, 7.
My niece is graduating on 6, 7.
Oh.
We'll never forget. Hashtag.
Are they going to
That's
yell
how you know
six?
I'm a
Are
millennial.
they going to yell 6, 7
I
in the
hope
crowd?
so. I hope they do.
Mm-hmm.
The adults will, because that's what happens. And the kids will just be like,
It will.
we shouldn't have. We shouldn't have done that.
Yes. No cringe. Please stop cringing.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah. Definitely check it out. Tell us what you think down in the comments below. About this film. It's like one of my favorite like zombie action franchises. That I like rewatching over and over again. I may have given this a 7 just for this film, but all in all, definitely pick up the series if you find it. Unfortunately, this is the only film that's available on Prime. The rest of them are locked away.
Okay.
But I've seen them on like Netflix before. I've seen them like
Hmm.
pop up all their films on there before. So maybe one day it'll come
I,
back
I feel
again.
like I've seen them on Max too, do that, like where they do like a marathon
Yeah,
opportunity.
but yeah, check it out. This movie actually made a decent amount at the time. It's $103 million out of a $33 million budget. So Paul W. S. Anderson definitely was given more leeway later in the films and made them more grandiose and bigger. All right, thank you LC for coming on tonight to review and discuss Resident Evil from 2002. Or I'll just say Paul W.S. Anderson's Resident Evil, because there's other Resident Evils out there that we shall not discuss. Apparently, there's another one coming out later. I don't know if that's a live
Ruh-roh.
action or animated. I think it's live action. We'll see
I
what
hope
happens
that
with that
it's.
one. I know they had a
I hope it
TV
goes to
show.
Broadway.
They had a TV
I
show
saw
on
that.
Netflix.
I
And,
was looking up on Just Watch where if any of the other sequels were available when you were talking about it, and I'm like, season one,
yeah.
huh?
All right. Well, we hope to see you on the next episode of Horror Corner. And Elsie, you also have socials as well.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I do. It's.
Send
I
all
feel
your
like
hate
I'm gonna mess up.
send all your hate mail to LC.
All the hate mail goes to LCLDCD. If you can remember it, you can send the hate to it.
And mine is at Gnerd Corner on all my socials. Thank you everybody for watching, and remember to enjoy your chimichanga.